Jane from Southwood Garden Centre. I thought it would be very good for me to show everybody how to make a wire hanging basket. All these plants are grown by ourselves in our greenhouse. We're going to make a wire hanging basket using moss, and this is the compost we are going to use, and also the basket. So I will start by getting the moss and teasing it open, and we're going to line our basket approximately a quarter of the way up. Now, the other thing I've done is I've cut out a piece of old compost bag. The reason I've done this is so that when you water your hanging basket, it will help the moisture stay in the basket. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place that at the bottom of my basket and put a handful of compost. And that is the start of the hanging basket. Now from here, I'm going to layer it up. Now, I like to use trailing plants towards the bottom. These are called Bacopa, a very good plant for hanging baskets. And all I'm going to do is, a lot of people will try and put the plants that way in. But no, what we're going to do is we are going to gently hold our plant and push it through the things, and then all the root stays intact. So that's the first plant. Now I like to plant opposite, so now I'm using the same plant opposite. And as you can see, the basket's already beginning to take shape. This is a star lobelia, which will trail absolutely beautifully when it's finished. Again, lift the plant out of the pot and then just gently tease it through the hole, like so. And the next one I'm going to use is a lavender verbena. Now this is a 14-inch basket. Now this is the first layer of plants. So then what I'm going to do, once I've done this, I'm going to get my moss and I'm going to gently tuck it around my plants. Not too thick. And then I'm going to add some more compost to cover the roots of the plants that I've just put in. Secure them down. So that's the first layer of plants. Now as you can see, the basket is beginning to take shape. So now I'm going to do exactly the same with my next layer of plants. We're going to use some Nemesia, a very pretty one. Again, into the gap. This is a Bidens, which gets a bright yellow flower on. A trailing fuchsia. And I'm going to use another trailing fuchsia opposite that one. So as you can see, the basket is really beginning to take shape now. Again, go around with the moss. And finally, some more compost. Push down. And now we're on to the very last layer. The last layer is the most important layer. With this one, we always like to use some really lovely trailing plants. Trailing Saphinias, fabulous plant for hanging basket. So, again, it's a big plant to fit through a small hole, but it's really easy to do because you're going to hold the bottom of the plant and gently tease the plant through the hole. And can you see how it sits perfectly in place? We've got another Saphinia. We'll have a blue one this time. And then one more Saphinia. Now, this plant here is an Apeta, a very trailing one. Now, there's a magic art to these. If you get the plants big enough, what you can do is crack them in two so that they go a little bit further. I'm going to just put a little clump down here and another clump over here. This is a lovely trailing a white diacia. And finally, I'm going to use something called a trailing begonia. These go very well in the top layer of a hanging basket. And again, gently place the plant into the basket, like so. And so now this whole layer of this basket is now complete. So I'm going to gently put my moss around. So that's the top layer of the basket done. So all we're going to do now is top it up with some compost. So the middle plant is our zonal geranium. This is a really pretty double geranium, as you can see. That's going to sit into the middle of the hanging basket. And then I'm going to use things that will trail over the sides and fill in with the basket. So this is called rose verbena. Again, I like to plant opposite, so I will plant opposite each other. I've got ivy leaf geranium. Just go in the gap. So I'm going to plant them opposite each other again. And actually what you end up with, you end up with a little bit of extra compost. So then the next thing I'm going to use is, this is a pretty, it's called, but it's like a million bells actually. It's the other name for these plants. And then I'm going to use another bacopa again, which will trail over the side. I think we'll have another trailing fuchsia, so it'll come over the side. And then I think what I'm going to do, because I want this basket to be ready fairly quickly, I'm going to put one more of the million bells in. That's a hanging basket, and that was typically how a customer hanging basket at Southwood would be made. Now I'm going to just dust it off very gently. So if I can just hold that up and then give it a little dust, you can probably see. That will take approximately 2 weeks to grow on, and then it will start to fill out. If you'd like to just follow me over here, Max. These baskets have just been planted just over 2 or 3 weeks now. These are only planted at the top, but you get a good idea. Remember, all of our plants and supplies that were used in this video are available online via our website.